It is time.
Oh, yes, he took one for Kimball and Dunkin' Donuts.
We'll call the meeting to order. Time is 8:31. Valerie will take a visual roll call. Any public comments on agenda items? Don't see any public here. Too bad.
I'll see anybody out there.
Is there any amendments to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move to the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve items A and B.
I'll make that motion. I don't know.
Yeah,
Think-
okay, I'll
I had to
second
think about it, but, you know.
I'll put reluctantly. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
I,
You're off the hook.
If I'd known this, I wouldn't have showed up.
since I gave such a hard time, I had to make the motion.
That's good, thank you.
Item 5 is business, fire department updates.
Morning.
How are
So
ya?
the updates, the two that we have are our latest candidate, Tom Sandino, has passed probation
Okay.
as of June 3rd, and we'll be having a ceremony for him, our usual pre-ceremony before the village board meeting. So Val's gonna blast these out upcoming, but I just thought I'd let you know that he's doing a great job. He's a nice kid.
Thank you.
The other thing we had was we got this contract from Cops and Fire, and we had talked about this previously about the no-shows being charging us $350 on top of a $125 cancellation fee for the poly as well. So I guess the last time this came up, we never really, the chief had drafted a letter, but nothing came forward to this. So do you want us to sign this, or do you want to sign this?
They're gonna charge us $350 plus $125?
So it says there may be a $350 cancellation no-show fee once a date has been contracted for the psychological testing service. And there may be a $125 cancellation fee once a date has been contracted.
We weren't gonna do lie detector tests, were we?
This was for the, one is for the psych and one is for the poly. So $350 for the psychological eval if there's a no-show, and $125 for the poly.
I think that's for both of us. Right?
Is that for you too? I would assume it's for you too.
The thing is, if they're reserving a psychologist and they're getting charged even if the person doesn't show up. So I think $325 is half of the cost of the exam.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so, because I'm pretty sure the exam is closer to $600. And we're doing the bills. That sound right?
Yeah.
So they're looking at the testing services actually losing money
Sure.
by an applicant we're sending them. So we should send the applicant a bill.
Oh, I was gonna say.
We talked
He didn't show up. No
about
kidding.
that at
Yeah.
one time, about,
Can we do that, John?
assessing a no-show fee.
Yeah, I think I don't think there's anything that prevents you from billing them for a no-show. Trying to collect it probably would be,
Yeah.
When is this? April?
Well, and I think we should probably, if we tell them up front, there may be a charge if you cancel.
Yeah.
If we just say that up front,
Was there a time limit on there? Like so many hours or so many days in advance? Because
It's the way it reads to me is that once you set the date, if you cancel it, then they'll assess the fee.
our test dates have been like 4 to 5 weeks out for the most part, haven't they, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember any of our applicants doing a no-show for the psych. Have you guys had anybody? I mean, so it might be
Usually
kind of like
that-
a non-issue. It might come up once. Usually by that point, you know they're getting the job.
Yeah,
so,
we've offered them the conditional appointment, so,
yeah,
I would agree with what you're saying.
yeah.
In April of '24, the notes read, Attorney Trilla advised adding a sentence to the conditional letter with the understanding that there's no guarantee the candidate will consent or pay if the appointment is canceled.
yeah,
So,
I agree with that. So
And usually, yeah.
add the language that you may be charged if you don't show up.
but we
Yeah.
won't chase them down if they
Yeah,
don't pay.
yeah,
Okay.
realistically, we're probably not gonna get it, but.
So then, does the board have to sign this contract? Okay.
I take bribes.
It won't be much.
Should probably be a motion to approve, to authorize the execution of the cops and fire testing
Yeah.
contract.
So I do, I do need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the cops and fire testing.
And that sentence is in there, right? About we may,
That sentence would be in your conditional offer letter.
Yeah.
okay.
We'll add that to our conditional offer.
Yeah, you
Okay.
guys should add that to your letter.
Okay,
So I made the motion.
okay.
I'll second it.
It's been moved in
Conditional offer.
second. Any other questions or comments?
So your comment earlier was that the cancellation fee for us is $125,
300,
and the polygraph appointment is my letter here says cancellation fee $125, polygraph appointment $350.
It's backwards.
Okay.
The psychological testing will be $350 and $125 for the polygraph.
Okay. So that, okay.
and are we gonna do the polygraph? I thought we were,
Yeah, I thought we were talking about getting rid of that or something at one time.
I know that we were doing it on a case by case, right? Each time the candidate comes out.
yeah.
I think we'd be okay to get rid of it, but that was up to you guys, so.
I thought we had talked about not doing, or was that with the police department?
We would probably not do that because, I mean, we've found a lot of backgrounds that even though when we interview them, they say so much, and then when they go to the poly, a lot of times more stuff is discovered, and there's been a lot of times people haven't passed the process because, not that they failed the poly, but when they go in for the interview with the poly, sometimes they admit stuff that they didn't tell us, and that becomes a problem, and so I think there is a benefit to it. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, if the applicant just can come in and say whatever they want, and they know there's no poly, they're gonna kinda coast right through that background. If they know there's a poly, once they get there and they're in front of the guy at the machine, they start blabbing, you know, stuff that they've done that they didn't disclose to us, and it's, how many times has that happened?
A lot.
So,
I think it's beneficial.
getting rid of it, I
Okay.
mean, you're taking out, I mean, you know, that's just a risk you'll take. I mean, when you get them, you'll find out, I guess.
Okay, so we'll
But
leave
not
it
all,
stand
not all
as-
police, I
yeah.
mean, like Chicago police, for example, do not do polygraphs. I mean, there are some that don't, but they seem to be beneficial, I think, in all the years we've done the backgrounds.
Okay, all right.
We still have the discretion to make the decision after the polygraph. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like it's not solidifying a no, but it's like, here, this came up, this shows the seat, what do we think? I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
And
It
this
helps
is-
our detectives out, I know that.
This is just a contract with them. We may choose not to do any of this, you know.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, or,
So,
Yeah.
just an agreement in case we wanna.
yeah, if you decide to choose a different testing company as well.
How much is it, 125?
For the
Poly.
poly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why not that much money, so
Yeah, it's worth it. And there's been times that we didn't use cops and fire for the poly. We have a secondary guy on call, cause sometimes they're so backed up, you can't get in. And I think that was part of the problem, you guys, but we do have a second or third now.
yeah, third round.
We have like 3 people we can call,
wow,
so.
okay. Any other discussion? Seeing, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Aye. Motion is carried. Anything else, chief?
No, I have something for exec, but
Okay.
Okay.
Police department updates.
You just gave Val the information from the testing process. The chief should have his points submitted by the end of this week, if not early next week, Monday or Tuesday, to the testing agency. I think that's all that's left to do, right, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, well, we gotta put the points in, which will probably be next Monday, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably next Monday, or maybe a little later. Then they have to do a initial list. They have to allow the 10 days for the military points. So that's 2 weeks there, plus a week, so by the next meeting, we'll have a certified list.
Okay,
We did send the test results, just as an FYI, if you want to look at them, do it. It's not done yet, it's just a
yeah,
written
that's
test.
not
and,
done yet.
How many people were on the list? You took it from?
We're down to 11, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there were 4 people that didn't make the written. They didn't make the 70%. And as far as the orals, we did not do a pass or fail. We just, at that point, just allowed everybody to move forward.
It's more subjective versus objective.
Yeah. And then our lateral entry that we talked about a while ago about posting, we finally got it up and running. It's up on the blue line right now, so it's out there. So we would ask we have to schedule interviews. I know in the past, we've always done it with us and you guys.
Right.
Right now, we have one applicant so far. We do expect to get some more from some surrounding police departments.
When
So-
did you have a deadline for that?
Well, we have that ongoing process, which kind of makes it actually a little bit complicated, but I told the ad to put up for 30 days, but I think we're kind of thinking in 2 weeks, kind of gather what we have and get going on it. And if other people apply, that's the interesting part. I mean, because like John, we talked about this ongoing list, but say in 2 weeks we take the applicants we have, we put them on a list, but then we still have more applicants coming. What do we do? Create a second list? You know
No,
what I mean?
I would say you got an ongoing list, just integrate them into the list, however you choose to do that, whether
Yeah.
that's by alphabet, by time of application, or rank, if you're ranking them somehow, do it that way. But you can continue to integrate them into a list.
Yeah, because it does say in our rules and regs that we have to score them.
Yeah, so
I mean, we can score them any way we want.
that's right, absolutely. That's the
Or
advantage of
or-
the lateral process, is it's pretty open in terms of the process.
So did you want to set like a date now, or do you want to?
Yeah, if we could. Since
I can
everybody's-
tell you that the last week in June, I will not be here.
Last week of June.
So you got the 24th to the 28th, from that Tuesday to Sunday.
How about that Monday, the 23rd? Would that? Or we could do it maybe the.
No, it's
'Cause then
23rd.
you get the 4th, you might have to do it the week after the 4th of July.
It's,
Well, we could. It's the ad's been out for a week. That would be 3 weeks. How about the week of the 16th? Pretty much any day in there,
June 6th.
except for Thursday.
June 16th.
Let's see my calendar. This isn't updating here.
Yeah, June 16th. So we want to move our regular meeting to June 16th, or you want that just
Or the 17th,
interesting?
if you want to keep it on a Tuesday. 16th we have open, 17th is open.
You guys are both of you available those dates?
I don't know.
He's checking.
Well, my calendar says yes, but
Check
my
with your
real
wife.
calendar at home,
Yeah. It's called your wife.
no.
Okay, so
I think I'm okay.
do we want to move our regular meeting to the 16th or the 17th? Or just do that as,
Well, if you could keep it, because whoever we decide to score the week after, we're gonna have to certify the list. Unless you did it all in one day, but I don't think you could do that because we have to publicly announce the meeting.
right,
So we would need the meeting to certify the list.
so that would be the 16th or the 17th, which is better.
Either
Doesn't
day.
matter to me.
How many days do we need to interview?
Just one. There won't be,
You think we could do it all in one day?
yeah, probably in the morning. Like I said, right now, we only have one applicant.
Okay.
We're expecting to get maybe 3 or 4 more, but
We could have our meeting first and then do the interview?
well, because you won't be here the 24th, right?
Right,
Yeah, we could do that, but the only thing is we wouldn't be able to hire until we have another meeting. So maybe the week you come back, we can have a special meeting maybe,
yeah,
if we plan something for like July 1st maybe or something.
right.
We could do it that way. Do you have a problem with the 16th or 17th that week?
No, that's okay,
Well, let's do it.
but that's,
How about the 17th then, keep them on Tuesdays?
okay.
All right, yeah, that sounds.
8:30 or,
Cal might not be available. I don't know if that matters.
we could do it at the PD.
Okay.
We actually, we've never done it here, we've always done it at the PD.
Okay. And same for our meeting if we need to. Okay.
We'll target 6, 17. We always did them at the
17th,
library, is that what we did them before?
Yeah,
Yeah, we did
We
those.
did some in the.
I don't know, we did some.
We did most in the PD.
Did we? Yeah, I guess we did.
Um,
Did we do those individually though? Did we do those?
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
those were individual, the laterals are individual.
Okay.
The other ones were.
Yeah.
Yeah. 17th at 8:30, same time?
yeah.
Is that good? Okay, 17th at 8:30. And, I think that's it.
What are we doing with the sergeant's list? Where are we at? Like, we have to do anything with the sergeant?
Yeah, that, well, that's the scores.
Right,
That's just an FYI.
okay.
The process is still going. So until it's completed, really that was just something for you guys to look at. You don't have to do anything with it.
Appreciate
Because
it.
that's gonna change. You get the oral, scores, chief points, seniority
Okay.
points. We just figured as we go
Okay, so
along,
what's your
you know,
understanding of the 17th?
Very good.
8:30 at the PD, meeting first,
Meeting
then
first.
Do we have
interviews.
to meet here though? Because it has to be public, right? The public has to be.
Well, that's true.
we've done
I
it
was just
at
thinking the
PD.
department head meeting is on Tuesdays, but that's at 10
Yeah.
or 10:30, so we actually
So
probably
we
should
could
be
actually
fine.
have it here and then.
We just gotta make
over
sure
there
our
for the
front
interview.
desk knows if someone walks in, we gotta let them out. We've done it before.
Yeah.
Just do it at PD then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want us at the meeting on the 17th, and are you canceling the 24th?
We need to cancel the 24th. So I need a motion then to cancel the 24th and schedule the 17th.
We don't have another motion on the floor right now. We already voted.
No.
Right.
I make that motion to change our meeting to June 17th.
Okay, I'll second that.
You send an invite out?
Yep.
So we'll start the interviews at 9 then, I would think.
Yeah. We should be able
Think we'll be
to.
done with the meeting by 8:30, by 9?
We usually are,
Yeah. Usually half hour.
depending how much you guys bring to the table.
Depends
usually
what
the
the
fire
fire department
department,
brings, yeah.
I was just thinking if we didn't have so many Portillo receipts to go through, it would probably be a lot shorter.
Okay, what's next? Now you threw me under the bus.
Should somebody be, I know I'm out of town on the 17th, but Erica or Megan could be here, so we have somebody here on the 17th?
Yeah,
Or at the police station, wherever.
here. Yeah.
Here.
We'll be here.
Okay.
We should be
All
able
right.
to still do it here.
Yeah, we'll make sure.
Well, no, the meeting will be at the police station, because they got the other meeting is,
Yeah, they'll be here.
Well, the other
so we'll
meeting
just
starts
post a
at
sign at the
10:30.
police station window, there's an open meeting, you're welcome to come in.
Okay,
We've done that years ago, so. We used to have them over there all the time, then they moved it to here, because it's easier accessible, but when we did have it there, we would just post something that, you know, the front desk person would know if someone comes in.
yeah, they can come in.
People walking around the police station?
Well, as you can see, no one ever comes, so. I mean, if that one day someone comes, we'd have to make an arrangement to bring them up, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just for this one,
We're gonna have our regular meeting
Here.
at 8:30 here in this room. No, in the
We'll
police
do
department.
everything.
Oh,
Unless-
we're
I
gonna do it
mean-
there, okay.
All right.
is there something going on here, or
No, we should be fine.
you wanna have it here and then walk over there? I mean, it don't
I
matter.
don't really care, just as long as I know where it is.
I know, it's just,
Alright, let's have it here, and then we'll walk over to the police station for interviews.
are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, it's
I'm
fine.
comfortable.
I think
Let's
we should
keep
go
it
to
the same.
Portillo's and
Yeah, I'll
have it there.
change my note. I'll change my note. Yeah.
Only if we get,
Well, we might have to order Portillo's
Portillo's
depending on
on
how
the
many
side.
applicants there are, so.
We'll get Portillo's for lunch after we interview them.
oh, okay,
We'll use Dan's P card this time.
yeah. Okay,
Alright, so 8:30 here, 9
Yeah.
o'clock there.
okay.
Yeah, it's fine. That's good. Yeah, I got a question for you. Are we voting on something right now, or are we still good? Are we good now?
Al made the motion.
You have to
I think you
vote to
just
change the
second.
meeting, cancel
Yeah.
the
I
20th.
Yeah.
seconded it.
Okay.
And you second it.
Did we vote
We
on it?
had further discussion.
Oh, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright. Kind of scary.
If you're a detective, what is, can you still, and you're not a sergeant then, or how does that work?
There's a detective sergeant in charge of detectives.
So, because I know Eric Hayman's a detective, right?
Right.
But he's not a sergeant,
No,
so what rank is he?
Just, he's same as a patrolman, just the patrolman and the detective is the same thing. The detective is just an assignment and investigation, but you're still ranked as an officer. too.
Oh, okay, so he's,
Detective is not a rank, like,
Oh,
Like
okay.
some of these movies that, oh, you took the detective
Yeah, I was kinda
test.
curious about that, 'cause I know Eric, I mean, I know Eric's a
Meeting
detective, so,
Yeah.
I didn't know. So he's still going for
We
sergeant.
won't
Yeah,
need
he
a
just
special
took the
meeting
test,
if
yes.
that's for the interview, it'd be the same. We just need to make sure we're publicizing.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? From the two deputies here?
No.
Okay. How you guys gonna, we'll talk about it.
Huh?
Look out.
We need an exec session? So-
Yes.
You do, okay. So I need a motion to go into exec session at 8:52.
Go ahead. I will do pursuant of, let's go, I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
And I'll second.
I was gonna read the whole thing to make it official, but I won't do that.
Okay, so we're in exec session. Okay, now a motion to approve.
I made that a motion.
Who did that, Glenn? The hiring, or extending the offer? What are you doing? Hiring.
Hiring.
To
Yes.
Armando,
Armando. Honorando.
Honorado.
Honorado.
Armando. Make an offer.
Okay.
6:22.
Any other questions or comments?
I got a question for the attorney. So, this question's come up a couple times with the past, last time we did the laterals. I think what we followed last time was 2 years' experience, but they don't necessarily, cause
Okay.
have to be.
Wait,
I
time out.
need you to wait a minute.
Time out.
then.
Oh, I'm
We gotta-
sorry.
This is
we gotta
not
vote
the
on this.
same.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
still
I thought you were
have-
at the
we have
second
to
part with
vote.
the comments.
Okay, so it's not related to this?
No.
Okay. Okay, so no additional questions or
I'll
comments?
step ahead, everybody.
No, it's okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
Yeah, I got confused.
Hire the guy.
Don't worry about it.
Okay,
I thought
Now
you guys
your
voted
turn.
already, that's how quick I was.
I thought we did too in a minute.
okay,
Yeah.
go ahead, Dan.
So 2 years, because of the way our rules read and the way the law reads is kind of a little complicated. It's a little different on here, I think. We went with 2 years prior experience, full-time. Don't necessarily have to be on the job at the time. So if someone, but are a lot of departments that post, you have to be on the job 2 years.
I don't believe that's what the statute says.
Okay.
The statute doesn't say immediately preceding hiring, it says 2 years, minimum 2 years law enforcement and a state law enforcement agency and certified by the Illinois Law Enforcement Trainings and Standards Board.
As long as full-time. Okay, good, then we're on the right page, I just want to double check.
Yep.
So meaning if someone's not working,
Yeah, the question came up last time and someone thought that they had to be on the job at the time.
The important thing there is that they maintain their certification.
Yeah,
And,
how long
and
is that certification good after you?
my understanding is
3, I think.
there's and you can go inactive for some period of time, but I don't know how long,
I think it's 3 years.
and that's possible. And they may make you do the refresher to update your certification again, depending upon how long you've been off the job.
Is that
Sounds
it?
good. Yeah, just wanted to verify, because that question had come up a couple times last time. Just want to make sure as we're moving forward with this list, we're doing it right.
We'll have to, do you need to write that in policy or something?
No, it's
Or
already
it's-
there.
You don't need any other additional clarification
No.
on that?
Yeah, the
Okay.
statute is not all that well written,
Yeah.
and there is this
Yeah.
difference of opinion whether the 2 years has to be immediately preceding your lateral, or whether it's 2 years at any time. The way I read it, I believe it's 2 years at any time, but people do ask that question a lot.
Our ad says at least 2 years' experience, full-time sworn, certified law enforcement, and within the last 3 years, so but that was kind of, at some point, the board decided that and then put that in the ad, because we've just been using the same ad over and over,
And that's fine.
so.
So that covers everything.
Well, and the 3 years probably goes with the academy, because after 3 years,
You may
you're
not
kind
have
of,
your
yeah, you're
certification.
kind of in limbo then.
Okay. John, do you have anything for us?
I do. Last week, the Illinois House approved Senate Bill 1953. Now, the Senate and House have both approved it, and both approved it unanimously. This is a bill that arises out of the tragedy that occurred in Sangamon County with the lateral Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy shooting and killing Miss Massey down there with a lot of publicity. Legislators' reaction is they've passed this bill. And I'm just gonna read you the start of the bill. The governor hasn't signed this yet. There's no doubt that he will, but until he signs it, we don't know an effective date. The earliest I think it will be next January. But it is gonna be a big change for hiring police officers. So here's what it says. No law enforcement agency shall make a final offer of employment for the position of probationary police officer, probationary part-time police officer, full-time law enforcement officer, or part-time law enforcement officer without requiring the execution of a signed release from the applicant presented in accordance with this section, directing any and all entities that previously employed the individual to produce or make available for inspection all employment records, including background investigation materials collected in connection with making a final offer of employment, duty-related physical and psychological fitness for duty examinations, work performance records, records of criminal, civil, or administrative investigations of conduct, arrests, convictions, findings of guilt, pleas of guilty, or pleas of nolo contendere. So that's what's gonna happen,
Wow.
and the plan is that if we're hiring somebody, we have to have that applicant sign a release, says we can do this. We've then gotta send that out to whatever prior employers he's had, and those prior employers then have 14 days to respond to us with all this information. The
Wow.
problem I have with this statute, I can't tell if this is for lateral entry only or all candidates. I mean, it says, no law enforcement officer agency shall make a final offer of employment. That sounds like everybody, but when it says, duty-related physical and psychological fitness for duty examinations, work performance records, records of investigations, that to me sounds like laterals. I don't know what the legislature's intention is. Whether it's just laterals, which seems to be what the problem that was identified in Sangamon County, that was a lateral entry. And there was this question about the thoroughness of the background check. It sounds to me like this may apply to applicants, I don't know.
Yeah, how could that for a new,
Right.
new applicant, he's not gonna have his
Just with a
background, I mean,
Right.
it's, you
I
know.
mean, our waiver kinda has all that already, but is this requiring the other side to give the information?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cause that's the problem you have, some
And
places
if
you
they
go.
don't, the village can go to court and get a judge to order them to give the stuff up, which I get it, is a pain in the neck, but that authority's there. There's also a suggested form for the waiver for the consent to release information that you give to the candidate. Additionally, interestingly, there is also a provision for immunity, so that the village, if somebody's applying somewhere else and they ask Villa Park for information, there's an immunity for Villa Park for giving the information. So, but it's gonna be, I think, a big change in how police hiring takes place going forward. Hopefully only laterals, but if this is in terms of initial entry, I mean, does that mean if the guy's working at, Burger King, we gotta get all of his,
Yeah.
work records from Burger King?
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, like all the medical, like, like we had a cop that worked at one of the hospitals, they don't give you nothing. None of them will give you anything,
Well,
except
I
for
think
start
with
date
this,
and hire date, that's it, or
You're
hire
gonna
date.
have to give it, I think, if that's where this goes. And unfortunately, I can't tell you that it's lateral only. I think that's what it should be, but I don't know.
It didn't pass, it didn't pass with any conditions?
No,
Yeah,
no, passed as I just read it to you.
wow.
Uh,
Is there a chance for them to make any amendments then to it?
Probably not now, but between, in the governor's review process, the governor can mandatorily
Yeah.
veto, so he could add language, or veto it and send it back to the legislature for clarification, which would happen in the veto session next fall.
Yeah,
But, no, I mean, the legislature's basically got till Saturday, they got 5 days left, they're not gonna do anything with this now. But it did pass unanimously in both houses, so there's appetite for this, but.
Wow.
But I thought I'd bring it to your attention, we're in the office gonna work on some guidance for commissions on this. over the next couple of months, but like I said, I don't think it's gonna become effective till at least January of next year, of '26.
Good news for you guys.
Yeah.
Like Dan said, we're pretty much doing it now as it is, but the issue around it is like, there's some people that probably get hired that shouldn't get hired because agencies refuse to give us that information, which collectively we're supposed to be working together. I mean, if you have somebody that's a problem, why wouldn't you, I mean, you're basically being neglectful. I mean, that's.
Did Chicago always should have given that, you know?
Yeah.
Theirs is all
Chicago's
online
not
though,
too
right, Dan?
bad. Yeah, most of it's online, and when you go down there, they'll let you look at everything, and we open the books for everybody.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you have an officer that's a problem, and when the department lets go of someone, and they have the condition of, here, you're gonna resign, and we'll just keep our mouths shut about what happened here. And that's what happens in a lot of departments, and now you got, but in a lot of those cases, there are no documents, because they just say,
Yeah, and increasingly, ILETSB wants to know that now, because they've got that resigned in lieu of, discipline proceeding or in lieu of discharge.
Yeah.
Under investigation, he resigns.
Yeah, right.
yeah,
That's one of
that
the
does
boxes
help,
on the
yeah.
ILETSB board. So it says, if an entity required to produce records in accordance with this section fails to produce the requested records, the requesting law enforcement agency may seek a court order to compel production. In addition to granting the relief, the circuit court may also award the requesting agency fees and costs, including reasonable attorney's fees for seeking an order. So, if we have to go to court, you can get fees. And I don't see any judge that's gonna sit there and look at this law and say, okay, you don't have to give up the records.
Well, I'm sure it's one of those situations where once it starts to be applied, everyone's gonna go, yeah, you have to do this. Once everyone's confident they're not
Right.
breaking the law, then they'll
Right.
just give it.
Yeah, it's an invasion of privacy or
Yeah.
anything too, I'm sure that,
Yeah, well, you can redact social
Yeah.
security numbers,
Yeah.
personal information as,
You give it, it's a good example, you
But
give it.
I think it's
Well,
good, it's gonna be some big changes.
I mean, I guess it changes a little bit, because we don't allow it, we don't send documents to anybody. We tell them, you can come to the PD, we'll pull up the computer, you can review everything you want. But we don't allow them to take documents with them. Now, I think, we know they're taking pictures.
Well, generally, we don't necessarily give them our background check either. We give them their training records. We don't give them their background. I mean, the ones that the detectives do, we don't necessarily.
Yeah, usually they just get with the PD, yeah. I mean,
It says including background investigation materials collected in connection with.
Because on our application, it says any other departments you've applied for previously. So now, say like Brandon applied for Villa Park Police Department, we didn't hire him for whatever reason. Now, you're trying to hire him and you go, oh, you applied for Villa Park? So then they call Dan and say, hey, you guys didn't hire Brandon, can we have his background? So does that mean that we retain him anyways, but that turns into a headache too.
Yeah, it does, but I think that's the intention, because the allegations in Springfield and Sangamon County were that the former agencies didn't, he had a problem, he was dishonorably discharged from the military. That was in the records, why they didn't pay attention to it, who knows, but he had worked in a small law enforcement agency and a bigger law enforcement agency, both of whom said no issues when in fact there were.
there's PDs, we know of some people that we let go of that are working other PDs, never even called us for a background. It's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah, well, and I think that's what this is designed to,
Right. Some PDs don't even do the background. Maybe they're fingerprinting them to make sure there's no, arrests, but they're not doing, whatever it's on their end, but.
I would think a bigger problem is the one you mentioned when they resign, though. When you ask them,
Yeah.
go ahead and resign, where does that fall into the whole thing?
Yeah, because if we're not investigating Brandon, well, Brandon's just not cutting the mustard, and I'm just saying, with the.
Well, we just had a probationary that didn't make it, and we allowed him to resign, but we would still
Yeah,
open the
right.
books. If someone wants to do a background, come on in, we let him resign, but this was the issue,
Here's
it
a
wasn't an
training record,
Yeah,
investigation.
but is he signing something that says that you're
Did they
you're
go
not
back?
gonna give information out about him?
We don't say that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the part, we never say that. We'll allow someone to resign just so their last letter doesn't say termination,
Right.
but,
But in theory, when the other department comes in, they have a waiver signed by Brandon saying, here, you can
yeah,
disclose my
and
information.
this statute has a specific waiver form, very in-depth waiver form. That is, my recommendation will be commissions should, or villages should start using that, the waiver form set out in the statute.
oh, well, more to come.
That gives them something to do, the lawyers, you know. it's-
Yeah, it's all it is.
And these guys too,
We
you
need to
know.
work.
Because you'd be on that receiving end of somebody wanting to hire one of, you know, your.
Well, we get a lot of emails and messages from other departments saying, you know, give us any information on this person. We're like, who's this guy? Who is this? So we don't know who it is. So it's like, it could have been, like, we even get messages from somebody who was on a list, so we have to like go look at the list, and oh, he was on our list, but we never hired him, so it's.
Well, it sounds like this is gonna allow us to actually, if a PD calls us, hey, send me your documents, sounds like we could, as long as we see the waiver.
See the waiver, right. It's not only can, I think the way this reads, you must.
Yeah. Because before, like I said, we never released documents, we just let them review. I mean, we're starting to put all of our personnel stuff into a computer program now, so that would be easy, actually, if someone calls.
So it's kind of like a FOIA
Yeah,
Somewhat.
without the redaction.
but the FOIA, they don't get personnel files, certain ones.
Well, it's,
Only the
Produce.
final result of a discipline.
so it's
But this-
produce or make available for inspection, so I suppose you could still do it by inspection, but, you know,
Yeah,
you gotta let them see everything.
interesting. I mean, usually,
Something to think about in the next 6
Yeah.
months.
Yeah,
yeah,
Maybe something else to do.
until they come
Yeah.
up with something else too, they gotta do.
as we
The
get
next
more-
thing they'll pass is they have to go through the, Let's Be. They'll be hiring everybody.
Well, next thing, we have to send all of our records to a Let's Be, and then they'll just go to Let's Be, so they'll have this
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
drawer somewhere full of everybody's information. Frank's information.
Yeah, right.
Is that better?
That's better.
What's the liability of the village or the hiring department doesn't require and get all that information?
I think,
Open for
given
suits.
this statute, and you, in violation of the statute, don't get all that information, I'd say that's probably willful or wanton misconduct, which would eliminate any immunity protections for an entity that hired.
Mm-hmm.
So if something went bad, I think it probably hung out to dry.
Does that trickle all the way down to us sitting here in this room?
Definitely.
Well, not really.
Only Ray.
If that's the case.
And Val,
quit.
too.
No, because the commission is still an entity of the village, it's the village that has the ultimate
Okay.
liability.
Good question. Good question.
I thought about it.
John almost lost the commission.
After you read that last
Write my
part, you have to
resignation.
think about that.
When that came up originally, I asked that to myself, and I
Oh.
met with the village manager, what the heck, where's our liability here,
You guys have the immunities.
And we have the vast insurance from the village to cover.
And you can always say we're acting under the direction of our attorney.
Yeah, right.
That's, I mean, they are never liable for anything.
That's right.
Okay, any other business? Anything else? Then, our next meeting, will be June 17th. Okay, and, you'll take care of all notifications, et cetera. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, and it's 9:10.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave you with all these Portillo receipts.
Thank you.
You don't want them for souvenirs?
No.
Aye.
Aye.
We'll see how many people
We are
get
adjourned
to-
9:10.
What if
So what do
we-
you guys do?